How many of you have ever worked and presented something to a group of people that you felt so proud of, only to have it shot down, taking your perceived self with it? That person that you've always believed yourself to be. Hi, I'm Todd, and today I'm going to tell you about the day that very thing happened to me. It was the day that I learned to develop thick skin if I wanted to survive in the art world. If you remember from my Something Cool talk, I'm a fine art photographer, part-time anyway. About 10 years ago, I decided that I was ready to take my photography up to the next level. I chose fine art. That's the level that I wanted to work at. I knew I needed direction moving forward, and I was going to need some ongoing feedback on my work. Before my portfolio collaborative was established, I had discovered something called photography festivals, and with it, portfolio reviews. This is what I needed. I thought that I had my portfolios covered. I had two groups of floral and landscape images bound into books, one horizontal, one vertical, so that the reviewer didn't need to turn the book in order to see the orientation of the photographs. I had hand selected 3 people that I best thought would help me become a museum showing artist, the ideal self that I felt myself to be, a term coined by psychologist Carl Rogers. The first reviewer looked through my work and politely said it's not what his gallery was looking for. We chatted a bit till our time was up. I got up and moved to the next reviewer, feeling a little bit let down, but my self-esteem was still high. I introduced myself to the head curator of a large Midwest museum. She shook my hand and asked what I brought. I politely placed 2 books in front of her and watched as she thumbed through the photographs. She then asked me to talk about the work. What did it mean to me? What was the overlying story? Why did I choose the metallic paper that I did to print the images on? She knew. She knew that I didn't have any of the answers to these questions. She could tell just by looking at my work. She slowly closed the books and pushed them back to me and looked up in my eye and said, I suggest that you hang up your camera and never return to photography. Do you have any questions for me? I was in shock. I didn't have any questions for her. I didn't know what to say. I was dumbfounded. I got up and I walked out feeling hurt. What I realized many years later was that at that very moment, I had committed the fundamental attribution error. That is, when I took her comments or her behavior telling me to stop taking pictures, I took it personally instead of attributing it to the poorly planned out portfolios that I had presented her. What I learned that day is always show up fully prepared. That means if things go south, still have questions prepared for that too. Do your research. Show up knowing what the reviewers want to look at. And third, always be gracious and humble, even if it feels that they're tearing you up inside. There's a lesson to be learned from the error, and it always makes it easier to save face later. Thank you very much.